Next up, we have a really cool AI, which allows us to use a combination of sketching and text to generate an image. So you can see that the image on the right here is a reasonably nice image of a river flowing past some mountains. Now, this image isn't perfect, and if you look closely, it can be pretty obvious that it was made by a computer. There's some weird aspects to it. I like looking at this bridge here. It's a pretty funny looking bridge. But what I think is so cool about this image is that I made it using an AI by giving it this image here. So as you can see, my amazing artistic talent here was able to create something that actually looks good in the end through the help of this AI. And I think that these types of tools are really fantastic for children in particular, who might have drawing skills, well, probably better than mine, honestly, but their imaginations often outstrip their actual ability to create that imagination, to actually draw it or paint it or something like that. And so these tools are a really fantastic way of allowing them to bring that imagination to life in ways that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. So what I am going to show you how to do is how to use this tool as well as how to add it to your stories. So this is the tool here, and you'll be able to find it in a link. And I'm just going to take you through the basic parts of this. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is just check these terms and conditions just to allow you to use the tool. And then there are kind of three main sections or four main sections here that you can use to generate images. So the first one is called this segmentation, and that's what you actually see as this big blue area. And so what you can do with that is you can basically go and you can grab a little paintbrush, and what you can do is you can go and you can paint on things that you want to exist. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, where's my grass? Is it in plant? It is. Okay. So I'm going to go and I'm going to draw just like some nice fields of grass. I'll make the whole thing grass. And then in order to run the program, you can just go and hit this button right here. And you can see that from this, it generates a picture of the grass. So the blue stuff here is sky and the green stuff is grass. And you can see that it made this totally unique landscape for me. And I can go and I can do it in like different styles with like sunsets and things like that. And there's a lot that you can come up with here. I can start adding in things like buildings. Maybe there's a little house here that, oh, whoops, no, I don't want to color the whole thing. Let's make this a house. Ooh, why did you zoom in more? Okay. Go. So now that we've sorted that out, I'm going to go and I'm just going to do this nice boxy house for you here. And you can see it kind of looks like an outhouse, but you can start getting really creative with these types of things. You can start adding in all sorts of stuff. Maybe I want to make like a brick wall that goes across here. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff you can do. And I think this is a really great way for the kiddos to express their creativity for things. And you can really play around with this. And the more time that you spend with it, the more you can start getting it. But that's not all that this program can do. You can also add in these sketches here. So you can see if I go and click this sketch box, I can start adding in specific textures and patterns. So this is going to look funny, but you should be able to see that it tried to mimic these patterns. Maybe it'll be easier if I just show you with grass. Kind of go back to, oops. I'll go back to just my, my grassy section here. And if I run this, you should be able to see that it tries to make the patterns that I showed you on the screen here into grass. Is there one that is light for me? No. That's all right. But anyway, this is something that you can experiment. Oh, this one you can see a little bit better, where it tries to match whatever pattern I give it. Finally, you can also give it an image as an input. I'm not going to show you how to do that one right now because I think it's fairly self-explanatory. You can just go and you can upload an image down here. But finally, one of the ones that I think is most neat is that you can actually use an input text. So the example I like using here is like a mountainside. And it'll try to use that text as part of the input. So I think it didn't like that. Maybe I'm going to turn off everything else. Let's try this one more time. And you see that just from my text, it created an entire mountain town. And none of these are real pictures that exist, by the way. These are all totally generated pictures. And so I think that this is a really fantastic and fun tool that you can use. I feel like I've only begun to scratch the surface of what's possible with it. And it's also really easy to add back in to your Choose Your Own Adventure in Google Slides. Because again, all you have to do is right click, say copy image, go over to your slides, paste it in, and there you go. And so now you can add these nice custom landscapes into your Google Slides. And it is only good for landscapes right now. That's the only thing that the NVIDIA tool will actually create for you. But I'm hopeful in the future that with this type of tool, it'll be able to create more and more types of scenery in more and more realistic ways. So I think this is a really interesting one that you can use with your students. Just before we go, in the same video here, I just want to show you one more thing, which is that you're also welcome just to use Google Images for this project. Sometimes if you're looking for something specific, it's easier just to search for it. And again, you can just copy the image and paste it right into your Google Slides. So these are all of the ways that you can actually add in images into your Choose Your Own Adventure story.